everybody. Welcome back to But I Did It, the podcast where real life meets real growth. Today's episode, I'm going to get a little more personal with you guys and share some more of my mess. And today, that's exactly what we're talking about, turning your mess into your message. No matter what you've been through, pain, failure, heartbreak, you have to realize that there's a purpose in it. We have to understand that everybody has messy moments or seasons in life, but that's a part of life. We all go through different chaotic chapters, but it's using those moments that will allow others to maybe have that as a survival guide for their own story. I know I've shared with you guys before about my past and how I did not always make the right decisions and choices and how that led me to be in places I really had to hit rock bottom. But in hitting rock bottom, I was able to find myself. And so that's the beauty of being able to accept the mess for what it is and embrace what life has given you and thrown at you. Because once you're able to do that, then you can start from the ground up. Pick yourself up and say, okay, I know what I'm carrying and what I'm struggling with, but I'm facing it head on and I'm still going to continue to get out there and push forward in life. And instead of allowing this to be something that's going to bury me, something that's going to break me or keep me from reaching my potential, I'm going to use this as fuel. I'm going to turn all of this mess into fuel to push me forward to where I really want to be. And in doing that, there's so much power because not only do you ignite a fire in yourself, but you start to light other people's fires as well. You become this shining light that gives hope to others in a place of darkness. And that's exactly what I'm here for. I feel like God has put us all here to help each other. Like everybody has purpose. I don't feel anyone is here by accident. A verse, one of my favorite verses, and it's actually the verse on my journal, is Jeremiah 29:11. And it says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." That verse is literally what got me through my prison sentence because I had to constantly remind myself that although this is my reality today, I know for a fact that this is not what God has planned for me. This is not my ending point. And even though it looks bad, I can still take this and use this for a good cause. I can still take this and use this as a message and a testimony to not only help myself, but to help others in the process. I talk a lot about prison and how um, how I ended up there. I shared that story fully with you guys, but that's not all of my mess. And so when I talk about using all of my mess, and it is that's what I mean, like when I say there's different seasons and chapters that you go through in life, that roller coaster that I talked about before, where you're up and you're down and you're up and you're down, that you'll continuously go through. But each time it's always meant to be used as a part of your story and what shapes you into being who you are. Share some of the things that I've struggled with and that I still continue to struggle with in hopes that as one, I'm healing myself, but also helping others heal themselves as well. And so saying that, but my mom, she was in an abusive relationship when I was a child. And so I grew up seeing that. I grew up watching my mom or seeing my mom being abused. And for a long time, I struggled with that because I didn't understand what manipulation was. I didn't understand what it meant to truly be a victim and to the power and self-realization that it takes to break out of that cycle. And it wasn't until, me becoming an adult and living life myself and having to understand that it's not as easy as it seems to just leave a situation. Because I think that's always like the first thing, like, oh, okay, if it's bad, then just leave. But sometimes you can't just leave. And it's said that a victim takes a victim at least 7 times to truly be done with their abuser. So I share that with you guys today to say that we never know what somebody is struggling with. We never know what's behind the layers when you start to pull back the pieces and really understand and talk to people and know what life is for them. So acknowledging my own mess is what's helped me to let go of the shame. So, it's like we talked about, my biggest thing for a long time was just chasing normalcy. So, today I am embracing all the parts of me, all of my mess, the good, the bad, the ugly, the scary, the unknown, all of the mess that has tried to hold me down for years. I am facing it today and saying that you are no longer shame for me, but you are my stepping stone, and that you will no longer just be mess, but I will take and turn you into my message. And in doing so, I know that I am healing. My scars are battle wounds that show that I am a conqueror. So let yours be the same. Whatever you're going through, whatever you have been through, it's okay to release that, embrace it, and release it. There's so much power in facing your demons, embracing the mess that you come from and the mess that made you who you are. Because let's be honest, without it, you wouldn't be who you are today. No matter how ugly it is, no matter how hurtful it is, no matter how painful it is, you would not be who you are today without those battle wounds, without those scars, without that pain. And so it's not always happy, but again, it's something that we can take and turn into our biggest victory. I did not know how, and I'm still struggling with it, honestly, but on a daily basis, I am continually telling myself that I am capable. And sometimes that's all it takes is that reminder that it's not going to happen overnight, but however long it takes, if I just chip at it one piece at a time, eventually it's going to break. I'm okay with being a girl that was violated as a child. I'm okay with being a person that grew up in a home having to see her mother in an abusive relationship. I'm okay having been an alcoholic, a felon, a dropout, a failure. Because I know that's not all of me. That's just part of me. That's just a part of me. But there's so much more to me. And that's for everybody out there. The nasty parts, the scary parts, the shame, all of it is just part of you, but it is not all of you. And in this place of finding myself again, I'm having to go back and revisit those memories. But this time I'm stronger. Like this time, I'm okay. I'm okay with knowing that that's a part of who I am. It took me a long time to accept that that's a part of who I am because, for anybody, like who wants the bad? And I kept telling myself that if I block it out, if I don't think about it, if I don't talk about it, if I treat it as if it never happened, then eventually I could say it never happened. But that's not, at least for myself, it don't work like that. You can only bury it for so long. You can only hide it for so long. But I don't want to hide no more. Like, I just want healing. And I don't know who this is for, but stop hoarding your testimony. Let your testimony be its testimony. You're blocking somebody else's blessing by not sharing what God has done for you. It's that story in the Bible where he talks about he gave 3 men a seed, and for each one, at the end, he asked, okay, but what did you do with it? One man went and multiplied, another just kept it the same. He didn't do anything with it. And then another, I can't remember, I got to go back and look. But for all of them, he was most upset with the man that did nothing. He didn't do anything with it. And I feel like that's what God has been asking me lately. Like, what are you doing? Or what did you do with what I gave you? And I'm like, with this mess? What am I doing with this mess? With the scars and the trauma and all of that? Like, what do you mean? But just because, again, it's not pretty don't mean that it can't be used. And so figuring out how to use my mess as a message has been a journey because I'm scared. I'm scared for people to see the messy part of me. I feel like a lot of me has been put in on this mask of like, I'm just, again, that normal person. And so it's so much about me that I'm afraid to talk about because I don't want to be seen as that victim. I don't want to be a victim. I never wanted to be a victim. That's a revelation right there because in saying that and hearing myself say that, now I understand I have to embrace it. I was a victim, but I'm not anymore. I was a victim. All of what I've witnessed and seen or been through as a child, the things that turned me into that person. And I think a part of it, again, is like what we talked about, that learned behavior. Because I can remember my mom kind of being the same of like, we'll just act like it never happened as far as what she went through. Not myself, but what she went through with her abuser, and still making every day a good day. Like you just wake up, you smile, you keep going, you look for the fun, and we don't talk about it. And I think it's important to talk about things. And this might be maybe like one of those new generational millennial things because again, when you think about like Gen Z and stuff, it's so much that was not talked about, right? Like with the past generations. But now we're in a space of like, it's safe. It's safe to share those stories. It's safe to say this happened or that happened and it was never nothing talked about for years. And so I think I was at a place where I've lost myself before and it was such a struggle to not give up. When you're at your lowest point and you're sitting there at rock bottom and you're looking around, it's like, I have nothing left to lose. I don't have anything left. Like, Lord, what else? Like, from here, how much lower can I get? That's the moment you have to embrace the fact that you've lost yourself. Angela, she's one of my favorite poets, artists, writers. Her autobiography talks about how she was violated as a young girl. And she just shares a lot of other things that she experienced in life. But at one point, when she went through her healing, so if you have not ever read it, it's a good book. Recommend it. Highly recommend it. And she just shares her story of what she had to survive as a young girl. But in doing so, she had lost her voice. Like she literally stopped talking because she had told what happened to her. And spoiler alert, if you are going to go and read the book and you have not, in telling, it brought severe consequences to her abuser. And it shook her so badly that she stopped talking for years. She just would not speak. And it's not that she couldn't, she was just that traumatized that she stopped speaking. And so her mom had actually sent her to stay with another lady. And then it was in that moment, like that woman helping her find her voice again. And that's where she started to do poetry. Now imagine her pretending to say, no, I'm not going to embrace the hard parts of my life. Imagine her mom not being able to see the struggle and help her get the help she needed, right? But because she was able to face what she had went through and share her story, not only was she able to help others, but she made a living off of her writings. She found herself. Yeah, I talk about her a lot because I just draw so much encouragement and inspiration through her stories and seeing the woman that she was. She was so bold. And when she found herself, and again, she went through different seasons where she lost herself again. So if you read the book, it's highly recommended. I Know Why Cage Bird Sings, and I'll link it down in the show notes as well if you're interested in where you can find it. But if you let your past be used for good, because I know for me, I kept telling myself like, but what if, like, what if all the bad come with it? What if people judge me? What if people say this or that about me? What if I'm telling too much? What if I'm being too vulnerable? And my focus was so much on me that I didn't think about the upside of it of like, but what if this saves somebody's life? What if by me sharing my story, I'm giving voice to someone else to share their story? Sometimes you have to let the storm break you to be replanted. You can't always be that strong, solid tree. But as long as you have good roots, then you'll always be able to regrow. It's okay to lose yourself just to be able to rebuild yourself back up. Believe me when I say you're not the only one. It's so many of us out there that have been in a struggle space, and then we have to refine ourselves and grow all over again. But when you share with purpose, not for attention, but with intention to heal and to help others. Use your story to uplift, encourage, and again, be that guidance for somebody else. Let your light be for good. When you have the time to reflect and sit down and really take accountability and evaluation of your mess, then use it. And you don't have to do what I'm doing. Like, you don't have to go start a podcast and share your story. You don't have to post on social media. It could be just as simple as being in a grocery store and seeing somebody and being led by the Spirit to share your story. I recently did a photo shoot, and I'll talk to you guys about that for my birthday. Still waiting for those pictures to come back, y'all. But when they do, y'all see them. But while I was there, and I'm such a introvert, you guys, I'm coming out of it, but I was like quiet, talking with the lady as we were reviewing my pictures, and she was really bubbly and talkative. And so we started a conversation, and as we're talking, she just was sharing with me her story. And so I actually asked her if she would come on and be a guest on my podcast. So that'll be an episode coming up soon. But like I said, it's in those moments that we least expect it that we're able to be a light, that we're able to share our testimony. I never expected I'm going to go and do a photo shoot today and meet somebody that's going to pour into me, that's going to help me realize what I'm going through, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that I'm capable of getting through anything that life is passing my way. Y'all, it was such a breath of fresh air, like I said, because I feel like, again, everything happens for a reason. I was there in that moment for a reason. I would love if y'all could share some of y'all stories with me. I'm on my social media. I Can Only Be Shay, which is all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest. I Can Only Be Shay. But if you would like to send me a message, DM me, share a story, I would love to share that on my podcast. If you would like to come on and actually be a guest and talk about some of how you turned your mess into a message, please reach out to me. Just remember, your story matters, especially the messy parts. And in this season of finding yourself all over again, don't forget to include all of you, the whole you. Thank you for listening and for showing up. You're worth it. What if there's a reason for my broken heart, Terrian? Until next time, guys. But I did it. Bye.